Hey everybody, welcome back to Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, who unfortunately lost their playoff game 34-31 to the rival Buffalo Bills. And just to say this from the start, the Dolphins players played their asses off. What an effort in facing really bad odds. They played as hard as they possibly could. And as a Dolphins fan, I couldn't be more proud. So, a disappointing end, but I have optimism going into next season. I hope if you're a Dolphins fan, you also feel optimistic going into the next season and beyond. That being said, there is, a bit of an elephant in the room, something that we absolutely do have to talk about, and that is the delay of games. They've been something that's haunted the Dolphins all season. Many timeouts were burned to avoid them. Many penalty yards were taken because of them. And to spend 3 timeouts in the second half of a playoff game that you're in to the bitter end, and then still on 4th and 1 with your season on the line, to not get the play in on time, to take a 5-yard loss and essentially end the season. That's disappointing. That's not really where you want to be. That's not what you want to see as a fan. And, chalk it up to Mike McDaniel being a rookie coach. And hopefully, moving forward, things will get better. It certainly does sting right now, though. I mean, not something you wanted to have happen in a playoff game that you felt like you could win. And realistically, if Tua was playing, I do think the Dolphins win. The Buffalo Bills played sloppy. I believe I said it the last time the Dolphins played the Bills, but you can count on Josh Allen to make a mistake, to play football that is not conducive to success, to throw interceptions, to fumble. He covers those up primarily with giant plays, with throws that really, make your jaw drop. He had a couple of those in this game as well. But if there is something in his game, a flaw, something that will prevent him from winning a Super Bowl, from taking that next step until he cleans it up, it's the mistake prone play that he has. It's as a rival to him, it's great. But I'm sure if you're a Bills fan, it's kind of similar to our Achilles heel, which in this game was not getting plays in on time. It's something that's in the back of your mind, like, is this going to cost us? And we'll see. Because I think everybody knows if the Bills play the Bengals, or in the future the Chiefs this way, they're not winning. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this doesn't come off as sour grapes. It's more just like frustration in the moment where you play the team so hard. You make Josh Allen commit 3 turnovers and also fumble on a 3rd down that, gave the Dolphins a chance to win. And still it wasn't enough, but with a team that's less injured and has a starting quarterback, I don't know necessarily if the Bills escape this one. Good for them that they were able to, of course, but we'll see if that gets cleaned up going forward. The defense played well enough. Obviously, they let up 34 points. There were turnovers that didn't help the Dolphins' defense there, but they played opportunistically, I would say. They got 3 turnovers. They got sacks when they needed to. Was it disappointing to not see them stop Singletary before he was able to pick up the first down? Of course, but you can't let the refs make the determining, call on your season. So they really need to step up there. It'll be interesting to see what the Dolphins do going forward. Do they keep Boyer as the defensive coordinator, or do they try to get someone else? Obviously, his style of defense has worked in the past, but when chips are down in terms of injuries, it's really a defensive style that relies on playmakers being available, and we didn't have those near the end of the season, and you can't necessarily count on having those going forward, so that'll be interesting. Skylar Thompson, rookie 7th round pick. He played decently. He went 18 of 45 for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The second interception is what led the Bills to get the 34 points. That ultimately was why they won. It was a bad play. It was a bad play call. Underthrown ball. Disappointing. Led to an easy score for the Bills. On the ground, Jeff Wilson Jr. led the way with 23 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Through the air, Tyreek Hill had 7 for 69. Ahmed had 3 for 45, and Waddle had 3 for 44. There were a few drops by Hill and Waddle that really could have set the Dolphins up better, but it is what it is. They didn't lose because of the drops. They just weren't helped in any way by the drops. That's to be sure. So, like I said, the Dolphins, it's a disappointing way to end the season, right? But I am optimistic for the future. I think a lot of Dolphins fans need to hear this. The Dolphins are building to more. They don't need to win this season. It was very unlikely that they would win this season to begin with, let alone with all the injuries. I think Mike McDaniel is a good coach. Yeah, Mike McDaniel did mess up quite badly with the delay of games. That's something he'll need to clean up, and he has a whole offseason to do it. And I think he'll be able to do it. But he's also the coach who motivated this team, who had every reason to not really show up, and when it was 17-0, had every reason to just kind of, throw their hands up and say, we tried, we gave it our best. He motivated them to rise above that and to play, decent football, to play aggressively, to not give up. So I have to give him some credit there. And especially coming off where the last 2 playoff games were such blowouts, it was nice to see the Dolphins be in it all the way to the end. Hopefully, a lot of Dolphins fans feel the same. I know we can be kind of dramatic and say we need to blow everything up. I don't think that's the case. I think next year, they go back to the drawing board. McDaniel kind of realizes what worked, what didn't. We bring Tua back. We hope that he can stay healthy. Perhaps we bring in a veteran quarterback who has a little bit more left in the tank than I feel Teddy does. And we don't have to rely necessarily on a rookie 7th rounder to start a playoff game and to try to send us to the divisional round. There's a lot to be proud of this season as Dolphins fans. Obviously, it was up and down. It was a bit of a roller coaster, but I'm extremely, happy and optimistic moving forward. Does it suck to lose in the playoffs? Absolutely. But to go out like that when the odds are so stacked against them, I think you really can't ask for anything more. And I don't believe anybody really expected them to even play this well. So you got to feel at least somewhat enthused by the showing in this one. So as for the Miami Minute, obviously the season is over. 2022 is in the book. As the offseason goes, I will come back anytime something crazy happens, signings, trades, anything involving the Dolphins, I will be here. But in a weekly capacity, it won't be again until the preseason for 2023, which obviously I just said I'm optimistic for. So we'll see what happens then. I really do appreciate everyone who checked out even one episode over the course of the season. If you're a Miami Dolphins fan, stick around. Like I said, I'll be covering all the major events with the team. If you're a sports fan in general, we will have tons of videos for you to check out as the rest of the leagues are either in full swing or will soon return with spring training, of course, for baseball around the corner. We're going to, in place of our football coverage, probably ramp up our NBA coverage, so you're not going to want to miss that if you're an NBA fan. And, I'll try to do some videos as the playoffs go on. Anytime something really interesting happens or I just feel like getting on the mic to talk about it, I'll be here. So if you enjoyed this, please check out our future videos. Stay on the channel. Follow us on Twitter at WickedSport. Follow me on Twitter at the fake Mars, BMARR, and then follow our TikTok. That's We're Geeking Sports. Actual name We're Geeking Sports. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around for a fun season. I thought our second season covering the Dolphins week to week here on the channel. And we will see you in the next one.